Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy show. Govy, I'm in a shitty mood. The stock market is crashing. I got a nail in my tire. I have no air conditioning in my master bedroom. Last week I had one credit card fraud. They had to cancel the card and send me a new one. This week, my American Express card fraud, and it's one of those, black unlimited deals where they need to review every charge you had for the last 6 years, and you're the only one that can do it. So I was on the phone for hours and hours with these assholes, and they just sent me the new card. But, do you know what it's like not having a credit card for like 5 days? It's like losing your left arm.
Usually it takes only a day to get another one. American Express next day.
Well, I mean, it took like 3 days, but it took 3 days to review all the charges.
Well, you know what I noticed with the credit card? What's interesting? You could have all these different places that has your credit card on file, and then it asks for your security code. Now, 5 years ago, your security code wasn't as strong as it is now.
Yeah.
Like it's the weak one that it was just 4 digits.
Right.
Well, that's the one where the dark web breaks into that one easy code, and the next thing you know, they got your information for your Amazon account. It could be your Paramount account. It could be, it could be all the different. So now they have it all. Then you got to cancel every single one.
Well, that's what killed me. So this is my it's called the Centurion card. It's Black American Express card, and they have this private eye fraud department, and they found out that Paramount, I pay every month for Paramount subscription or whatever. That's where the leak was.
Dark web.
Yeah, they got into Paramount, and that's where they got my credit card number. But I have all these auto charges every month, like the Paramount or, my cable bill or all these things. And all of them are bouncing. My world is turning upside down because the card shut off. And like all those auto charges aren't working like Disney Plus.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this one question. If they tell you that they suggest that you should use a stronger password, and sometimes when they ask me that, I don't do that because I'm so comfortable with the password that I have because I don't want 1,000 different passwords.
Yeah, but they want a password like XYZ, money sign, cross sign. They want 18, things.
But I don't want to remember all those different things. And I know you can write it down, but anytime the ones I need, it's always the code that, you have 3 misses.
Right.
And then they put you in the penalty box. American Express put me in the penalty box for 24 hours because I couldn't come up with it.
And then, it's so crazy. It's just what a process to go through this.
I actually got into a fight with my wife because I was down to my last attempt, and she was asking me questions, and I wasn't paying attention because all I could think about is this is my last attempt,
right? And
I ended up in the penalty box anyway, and I was shut out for 24 hours. It put me in a bad mood that I couldn't use my credit card.
And then, once I got my new credit card, obviously it comes in this very glorified package, like it's almost like a watch.
Yeah.
You get this really fancy box. So the first time I went to use it was a $2 parking meter in Boca Raton, and I got declined. And I was like, really? So anyway, I called American Express. I was ready to rip the lady's head off through the phone.
Right.
You wait, and then she gets on, and she says, well, you have to activate the card, Mr. C. I didn't know they had to activate it first before you get to use it.
The best is, as soon as you're done and you're already exhausted, they then send you the email to say, can you have 15 minutes to take a survey to see how we did? They want to know how you were treated.
Right.
So then you don't even want to do that.
So I'm exhausted all day from the market. Then I'm exhausted all night because my credit card doesn't work. Then I get in my car and the tire light's on. I finally get home and my bedroom's 82 degrees.
Was the nail in your tire,
It's like this long.
But was it savable or no?
The tire?
I never could save a tire. They always tell me, I'm 1 inch, for 1 more inch closer, I could have saved the tire, but I'm always on the corner where they tell me I need a new tire.
Well, I have multiple cars, and I always get the tire insurance with the car, where it's guaranteed.
Right.
So, of course, the one car that has the nail in it doesn't have the tire insurance. So I take it to that crooked gas station over there in El Camino, whatever, and he pulls up, you pull up, you look at the thing, and he says, nah, that's on the edge of your thing. I can't plug it. You need a new tire, and it's like $600 or $700. I said, dude, here's $50. Friggin' plug it.
Hey,
So he plugged it.
But I got to ask you a question. That's the one gas station in Boca Raton that literally is $1 more per gallon than any other gas station. So why would you go there for the tire when he is literally $1 more per gallon
for the plug.
than any other?
No, he plugs it. He
I know,
was plugging it.
But that just tells you he's a thief. But
anyway, Govy, I decided, this stock market with Donald Trump is uninvestable. You cannot pick a stock. I mean,
sit tight. But for a day trader.
With what?
But if you're a day trader and you have to be in this market, it is. You got to you have to go on vacation, but you got to almost sit tight. I can't do anything.
But how do you know, let's say your stock that you've made tens of millions of dollars on NVIDIA. How do you know that Trump's not going to put them out of business? So you want to sit tight with that stock right now? It was $200 or $180. What is it now? $100?
110. But the guy from NVIDIA had dinner at Mar-a-Lago last week. So it's always, you know what? If you could find out who's having dinner at Mar-a-Lago, that's a lot of good stuff because he had dinner with Trump a week ago.
Right.
So isn't that enough to say they they discuss business, they discuss tariffs. Trump lifted up that he's allowed to ship in some chip into China that they put a block. Once Trump gave him the blessing to do that, NVIDIA then came back.
Maybe we got to pay off the waiter to snoop at the table and find out what they're saying.
Or to know who's coming there. I mean, people are coming from all over the world to meet this guy because didn't he say that that these tariffs are going to be a tailor-made tariff? That means any country. He can negotiate whatever it is. So, for instance, if it's watches in Switzerland, he could say there's no tariffs on watches, but there will be tariffs on chocolate or there will be tariffs on pharmaceutical.
I want to play that skit where those two people imitate Elon Musk and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yes.
I said,
yes, that was very
so funny.
It's true.
That was very funny.
We're going to have to put that in the show. Anyway, I just don't think, so the market was up 2,500 points yesterday, the Dow. Today it's down 1,200. And it's 3:30, and they're in the cabinet room. And Trump is discussing, whatever he's talking about with the cabinet. And I'm just saying, if he says one wrong word, this market's going down 2,000. If he says one right word, it's going up 1,000. I mean, and then how about all these guys? Your Secretary of Human Services, your Pam Bondi, Attorney General, your whatever. You're working 100 hours a week. Donald Trump says, cabinet. Everybody's got to fly from wherever the hell they are to show up to, deal with this guy.
But do you notice?
And he repeats over and over again.
Every time. But do you notice how yesterday at 4:01, when the market closed, so he knew it was already closed, he then had his little TV press conference and said, it's the greatest day in the history of the market. But you don't hear him talking about it today. But yesterday was the greatest day in the history of the market, and he made sure he got that in. And by the way, it's 2 times this week that he takes, and I think he does this on purpose. He comes on during the 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock hour because he knows that the 5 is coming on at 5 o'clock on Fox, and he doesn't want to go into their show. But he knows that this Will guy is okay. So Will Cain. So he literally takes up his entire show twice this week, and then he's done. He's going to be finished his press conference at 4:59.
But when I just watched him in the cabinet room, he just repeats himself over and over and over. this war would have never happened if I was president. Blah, 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 blah,
Said
blah.
that 50 times. Already.
50 times. And eggs wouldn't have been $12 a dozen. And, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he talks over and over and over again.
Well, because you know what? He feels that maybe the news, the mainstream media really didn't get out the information. They were they weren't telling the truth. And by the way, you're seeing it now. You're looking at CNN's Jake Tapper basically writing a book, and all these people are trying to make like they were shocked. Like, is it really, or the Fox viewers smarter than the other viewers, or is it that the Fox viewers were actually they saw the light? Is it the other people? Is it the other viewers were kept in the dark? Did MSNBC cover up and hide it? Did CNN hide it? ABC, David Muir, just the other day, they told a story that it could be someone that was an illegal immigrant that came in here that killed somebody. They'll give the whole story without mentioning that the person was illegal that came into the country.
Well, the ratings are all down, so it doesn't matter. But, Jim Cramer really is sticking his dick out here and saying Trump's a loser and all this stuff. Jim Cramer, CNBC, Philly guy, unfortunately. But guess what, Jim? Your career's over if these tariffs work. I don't know if they're going to work or not, but Jim, you took a stance. You were on CNN. You were on everywhere. You're out there, babes. You're on video.
Jim Cramer.
I mean,
he bombed 3 years ago. You got to remember, Jim Cramer, 8 years ago when he had that TV show Mad Money, he was on fire. He was a celebrity. This guy was the same as Gordon Ramsay is to like cooking shows. He was to money shows. And he was on Jimmy Fallon at night. He was on David Letterman. I mean, here's a guy that was like, he was coasting. He like at all the Eagles games, he was in this. All of a sudden, he's trying to be popular again and famous.
He's the only guy in America that can wear a Brioni suit and look terrible in it.
Yeah,
I mean, everything he wears is Brioni, and he looks horrible in it.
He's just trying to go on the opposite side, so he looks good on this. But I
mean, everything he talks about, and then the next day, I didn't say that. Well, you're on tape, Jim. You said Trump's destroying the world, and guess what?
By the way, but what he doesn't tell you, though, is that the interest rates, mortgage rates are down. The unemployment
Oil's
came down.
$56 a barrel.
Unemployment is down. So there is money in people's pockets. They're going to start seeing a difference pretty soon that they have more money at the end of the month, especially people that are refinancing. These mortgage companies are jammed right now. People are refinancing like crazy.
Well, a tax refund is when you go. I filled my tank up with 93 octane 2 days ago at $3.29 a gallon.
And it was what, $5.50?
Yeah, it was like $5.50.
Right.
$3.29 a gallon. And for my brother-in-law, it wasn't at Costco. It was at an Exxon station. $3.29 a gallon.
Yeah.
93. But yeah, oil's down. Eggs are, I took a picture and sent you, eggs are under $6 a dozen. Mortgage rates are down. These all these countries are running the White House to make a deal.
But you know what you're also going to see? Pretty soon, I think that's very important. Doge right now, they're coming up with all this waste and everything. But no one has felt it yet. Like, they haven't seen all this stuff that Elon Musk is finding. They haven't seen the money go into other people's pockets. Like, for instance, today they came up with Social Security and Medicaid, all the fraud. How many people were really old, and then how many people were like 5 and 6 years old collecting Social Security? People, if you could say to people, here's more money for people on Medicare or Social Security, they would really be happy if you said, listen, we took all this waste money and we're going to try to give you a little bump. Then people would understand that's where the savings is coming. Right now, they actually think that Elon Musk is taking away their Social Security, because that's all they hear Chuck Schumer say.
I know. Well, this is all going to end real soon. I mean, the market can't continue to crash like this. Well, why do you think, Bibi Netanyahu got on the Israeli Air Force One and flew to the White House to discuss his tariffs? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all,
Govy and I have a theory
We do
about
have a
this
theory
one.
here. I want you to know, Bibi Netanyahu was the first world leader that came to the White House, and he made like he was going to talk tariffs, where he was going to take Israel down to zero, so it's just fair trade. That is not the reason why Bibi came on that plane. The reason why Bibi came on that plane, this is my opinion, is because this weekend on Saturday, Trump is going to talk to Iran about their nuclear situation there. And he basically told Iran that they are not going to be able to have nuclear. And he's going to discuss it with them. And he's telling the world that he's being nice, and he's telling them, we don't want to use force, but you got to like disarm. Iran's going to tell Donald Trump, thanks but no thanks, we're not listening to you. He needed Bibi to come there so he could say to Bibi, is your intelligence perfect? Are you sure you could take out Iran? We are taking out the Houthis right now. Pete Hegseth is bombing the shit out of the Houthis. They will not be any problems for you. They will not be attacking Israel or our warship that will be right there in the Suez Canal as coverage for you. Israel, are you ready to take them out? And Bibi did not want to go on a regular telephone line because they didn't want people to listen. So the only way for him to
It would have been a perfect phone call, though.
It would have been a perfect phone call, and there would have been someone listening, and then there would have been an impeachment. So they decided, I need Bibi to come face to face, and that's why no other world leader has been there for tariffs.
And kiss Donald's ring.
But yes, but this tariff was just a
Cover,
mirage.
smoke screen.
It's a smoke screen. Bibi was there because, and by the way, he also doesn't want the tariffs. He's taking a 90-day break because when Israel attacks Iran, probably in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he doesn't want it to be that you have tariffs going on, a war in Ukraine, Israel bombing them, the Panama Canal, Greenland, the southern border. Like, it was just too much. The guy is exhausting.
I'm exhausted.
He's exhausting.
My normal day is my tire, my air conditioner. Now I'm exhausted from all his stuff.
Yeah, so I do believe he wants there to be a little. Let's just let Bibi take him out. And by the way, it will be better for the world. I think the markets would actually really boom if you knew that they didn't have nukes. And Israel's the one to do it, not the United States.
Are they going to bomb the oil fields in Iran? They sell 3 million barrels a day. That's a lot.
I think they know exactly where they have their nukes, and Israel has already. That's why they went in there one time. It's not going to be the United States. It will be Israel with the blessing of Saudi Arabia and some of the Western world.
This will be exciting, folks. And then, of course, we have Robert F. Kennedy. So little news, real estate news on him. His wife is moving from California to Washington, D.C., bought a $4.4 million townhouse. She doesn't want him out of his sight because he's a sexual addict.
Well, she came out and told him right to his face.
She's devastated.
Well, she came right to her face. She said, listen, you being in Washington is me putting you in Washington without me is like me sending an alcoholic to a bar and hanging out there from 10 o'clock at night until 2 in the morning.
That's where I'm going tonight, to a bar.
Right. Well, nothing good comes from that. So she knows that he doesn't have an option, that his job requires him to be in Washington. And she said that she's coming. Now, what you don't know is he has his own jet now, and he can fly anywhere he wants.
She's going to go with him.
She's going to go. Now, she won't go if he has to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Why?
Because he wants to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
But she'll go. He can do anything he wants on that jet. You know, he can take a couple girls, hide them away.
She'll be at any place that's like nice, exotic that he can go. You know, maybe it's Scottsdale, Arizona.
But let me ask you a question, Govy. I mean, seriously, you know, between the voice, the fake tan, and his sexual tendencies, I mean, why is she hanging around? She's Cheryl Hines. She's good looking. She's
He's Robert F.
talented.
Kennedy.
What?
He's Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh, please. I don't know.
Good-looking guy, 6'3". He's a Kennedy. I mean, you want to know?
I mean, he's got a lot of baggage there.
You want to know something?
He's got a lot of crap going on.
as crazy as you may think he is, I think he's the only normal Kennedy right now. His nephew, Schlossberg, this guy's an embarrassment.
Right.
I mean, Carolyn's son is an embarrassment.
But I mean, she's caught him cheating so many different times. You know, he has all these crazy.
Hillary Clinton, how many times did she catch Bill? I mean, Bill only got caught in front of the world. In front of the world, and she moved on.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's true.
But listen, it's, And
talking of cheating, Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem.
Our Homeland Security.
Cute. She's cute.
But what's with these sexy skin-tight outfits? She's head of Homeland Security. She's in an El Salvadoran prison. She's walking around in front of all these horrible people in these outfits that, even on TV you're sitting there saying to yourself.
Well, you know what's crazy? Didn't she have, when she was governor of South Dakota, wasn't there rumors, that she had an affair with Lewandowski?
Corey Lewandowski.
That they did have an affair.
Yes. So, I think they're still having an affair.
Yeah, so now...
Is she married, Kristi Noem?
I don't think so. I think she's now...
He's got very big feet.
Who?
Corey Lewandowski. Do you ever see his feet? He's got gigantic feet.
I got you.
No, he does. He has size 14
but
feet.
the other day, they went on a raid. Kristi Noem went on a raid, and she drove the armored car. She was the one driving. And you know who rode shotgun with her?
Corey Lewandowski.
Now, come on. Why are those two? I mean, what are they?
What is
Batman
he doing
and Robin?
with her? I mean, he's not even involved in Homeland Security.
She said, come on down, spend the night with me. We'll ride out there. And then she was the one that opened up the door and was actually confronting a gang member.
I want to know what his deal is. He should hang out with Robert F. Kennedy. I mean, he had that Hope Hicks. He has this Kristi Noem. He has all these super...
Could you imagine those two together?
Who?
Robert F. Kennedy and Lewandowski.
And Corey Lewandowski. I mean, between the two of them, they have like 14 kids.
Yeah, but Kristi Noem, I don't know why she wears these outfits to go. But, she wears the SWAT thing.
They should do a Saturday Night Live skit with her where she's not wearing a shirt underneath and wearing that, Homeland, bulletproof vest with her boobs hanging
or a sheer outfit. I mean, she's in front of guys that, by the way, they leave the light on 24 hours a day. They never get to see daylight.
Right, shaved heads.
Right, and then she wears her perfume going into this thing. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
It's horrible. I mean, I just don't understand it. So, Govy, this is an exciting... Well, last week, unfortunately, Auburn, your pick, made it all the way to the dance. Did a great job.
They did,
March Madness.
And Duke, you know what?
I know, Duke.
Who feels worse?
I wanted Duke.
But who feels worse? Democrats who woke up on November 5th or November 6th to find out Harris lost to Trump, or Duke fans that woke up to find out that they blew a 15-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the game, and they blew a 6-point lead with 30 seconds to go in that game. And by the way, they would have beaten Florida. That was the team. How do you think Duke fans feel? Horrible.
I've watched football and basketball, not so much baseball, my whole life, and I'm always amazed how these coaches work it to the last minute of the game. They must know all that is capable of happening. I try and do the math in my head. Well, how do you steal a ball? How do you make a three-point shot? 6 points in 30 seconds. 6 minutes is a lot of time in basketball. 15 points is nothing.
How about 30 seconds up by 6?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean,
that's a lot of points in 30 seconds. How do you do that?
By turning the ball over, because you know what? You're dealing with 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds. So if they were in the pros, you would say, what a crazy rookie mistake. Well, these people are younger than rookies, so you could take advantage of them. But that was crazy with March Madness coming. You have the Masters right now going.
Well, stay on the March Madness. Think about it, Govy. These kids play, what do you play in college? 65 games? Not 8.
No, college is less.
82.
College is like 45 games.
Okay. So you do pre, and then you do your 45 games, and it comes down to 30 or 60 seconds.
Right.
Is that crazy?
But you know what's crazy? Before the season starts, the guard for Florida, that was the star, he was the tournament's MVP, he was playing for Iona. Florida gave him he was supposed to sign with St. John's. Florida at the last minute threw him $2 million a year to come to Florida. And now you got to say, was it a good investment? Did Florida make a good investment to pay a guy $2 million for 1 year? And that's where college ball is almost like, it's like free agency. I mean, that's crazy.
They got to change the rules back. I mean, I thought that whole red shirting thing was bad, where they had to sit a season.
Their ratings are going through the ceiling. The NBA is in the tank, like I told you.
But look at a school like FAU. They have no chance anymore. Remember, they were in the finals a couple of years ago.
They got to get lucky. You know, you got to get a guy.
How do you get lucky?
How do you get lucky? You got to get a guy that nobody wanted. By the way, there wasn't in the final pairing. There wasn't one top recruit that was there. You know, sometimes you get a guy that's 17 years old. He grows 3 inches. He's 19, and he's a different player than he was. So you got to get lucky.
I know, it's kind of crazy. And we're watching the Masters. It's on now. Today's Thursday, so today's first day.
Shout out to Ming Woo Lee. The guy's one under after one.
And then we have Scotty Scheffler, who got arrested last year.
Yeah, that was PJ. But I like Scotty Scheffler.
All right.
He's a class guy.
He's got a bad cold. I hope you don't have money on him. He's got a bad cold.
He's doing great. Justin Rose is doing great.
I hate Justin Rose.
I like Justin Rose.
I don't like him.
He showed up at your friend's restaurant at the Gypsy in Conshohocken when he won.
Yeah, I don't like Justin Rose. He's pretty old, isn't he? 50 by now? He's 48?
He's young.
Is he?
He's young.
Didn't he win the U.S. Open in Philly?
In Marion.
Yeah, he won the U.S. Open.
And came and brought the trophy to your friend's restaurant.
Right.
Because she opened up.
Right. So who's your pick? Let's make a pick. Scotty Scheffler?
No. My pick
Bryson DeChambeau?
Is Bryson DeChambeau, followed by Rory McIlroy, followed by Scheffler.
How about Brooks Koepka? Always does really well in majors.
You know, I think he took his eye off the ball a little bit. His wife started hogging the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going through the motions. You know, when they give a person $400 million to play on the LIV Tour, and it's 3 days a week, I think he lost.
Is that what he got? $400 million?
$400 million.
How about Phil Mickelson? Does he have a shot? I mean, what's he have? 2 green jackets?
I think if you're a Masters champion, you always have a shot. How about Freddie Couples? Shot like he's in the red right now. He's playing great. He eagled.
But he can't go 4 days.
He can't. He'll break down.
Yeah, it breaks down.
I mean, physically, he can't handle this course.
I've never been at the Masters, but my kids. By the way, Cutty Jr., happy birthday. Cutty Jr., happy birthday 2 days ago. I got 2 kids' birthdays.
I had my daughter's anniversary today. What a big
wow. Yeah, it's a big month. And but you know, these guys. I've never been to the Masters, but they say it's very, very hilly,
right.
And it's tough to walk 4 days and play competitive golf.
Do you know what's crazy? When you watch a golf tournament on television, a regular tournament throughout the course of the year like they're having in Philadelphia, that's open to the public, that everybody gets there. When you see the crowd shot, you have no idea who those people are, what they do. You know, that's all
they
walks
have to
of
be
life.
big shots if they're at the Masters.
If you're at the Masters.
Right, you're big time.
If you're on the grounds, you're either the #1 car salesman for Cadillac. I mean, you are.
Right.
Every single person there is somebody. You could Google their name and it'll pop up and they'll tell you exactly who that person is.
You're 100% right. And I understand also that the food is very reasonably priced there.
$1.50.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. $1.50.
But for a grilled cheese sandwich. But the ticket is super expensive.
Yeah, but usually companies get them, right? And give it to.
But they still spend a lot.
You think the 1916 company could give us some tickets next year? I'll go.
Yeah, my nephew's going right now. He's going to be there.
Will we get
staying with the IMG tent? What's that?
Will we get the 1916 jet to take us there? I understand it's tough to get on the tarmac there in Georgia.
But you know what? Philadelphia, direct flight into Augusta on American Airlines.
Wow.
That's pretty nice.
Is that just for this week?
I'm not sure, but he's flying direct right into Augusta. And, we have another golfer, Dink is his name. He would have been the group ahead. He would have been the amateur, but he went pro. So next year, hopefully, there'll be 2 guys in there.
So, Govy, then we have baseball coming up. It's happening. You know, we're Phillies, I don't know about the Phillies this year. Yankees,
They're
Dodgers.
doing good. The Atlanta Braves are the team with only 2 wins. They're like 2-10. Atlanta, the Phillies are playing them. That's like, you don't want to start off bad, otherwise you get fired. By the way, just to let you know something.
The tomahawk chop, remember that with
Yeah,
Ted Turner?
But I'll give you something really interesting that we have to just jump back to. In the NBA, there are 2 head coaches. There are literally 2 games to go until the regular season. They fired both coaches that are in the playoffs. One coach literally was the Denver Nuggets coach. He won the championship 2 years ago. First one. He's the all-time winningest coach in Denver. They're in the playoffs, and they fired him with 2 games to go.
Well, let me
why?
ask you.
Why would you do
I'm going to tell
that?
you why.
Tell me.
I'll give you an example why. When you have players that are $70 million a year, I mean, there has to be such tremendous financial pressure on these coaches to perform. And there has to be something.
They're in the playoffs.
But I think there's probably that $70 million player went into the owner and said, I can't
What's
have
the
this
difference
guy.
if you're the 4th seed or the 3rd? Oh, so you're saying a player went up to the owner.
Yeah, $70 million guy went into the owner and said, this guy's a jerk off.
There's only could be one player on Denver that has the power to do that.
Who's that?
It's the Joker, the
All right,
center.
so maybe he did that. It's got to be something like
If
that.
he didn't do it, there's no reason. But now, the
He had
owner,
to
by the
do
way,
it.
the owner is a Walmart heir.
Yeah.
So, he also owns, I believe, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Right, but I mean, it's something like that. I mean, I don't know.
2 games to go in the season?
But think
Why
about it.
upset the whole... Like, now the whole team is kind of... And he's the second one. The other coach was the Memphis Grizzlies. They're in the playoffs, and they fired that coach.
Maybe there was a palace coup in the locker room. Maybe the whole team voted him out.
But you come this far and you're going to now, if you're a player, why would you want that? It's like there has to be a hidden story that you fired a coach.
Maybe there was a little sexual harassment going on. Maybe there was something.
Something. Would you fire your coach with 2 games to go?
Depends what he did. He might have did something that required that you had to fire him.
That's true.
Could have been a little sexual harassment of the cheerleaders. Or
So how's your buddy Elon Musk doing?
Elon Musk, I think that he has to go back to Tesla. His stock is down at
His net worth,
225.
what does it go up and down every day?
100 billion. But it's not that. I mean,
he's going 100 billion on every.
I don't think it matters because he's got so many things out there. I just think that, I don't know, a guy like that, does he really want to run around every time Donald
I just
Trump...
mentioned his name and you had to rub your eyes.
I know.
Does he exhaust you,
Yeah,
Elon Musk?
I'm exhausted. I mean, you think Elon Musk, Donald Trump says, come to the cabinet meeting, come to the rocket launching, come here, come there, do this, do that. I mean, the guy's busy. I mean, he has 13 kids. He's busy stuffing. He's busy running his companies.
Little X? I haven't seen Little X.
Little X is around. He finally ponied up with a nanny. He's got a nanny now.
Oh.
But, Elon, he's missing time to have another kid. I mean, he's missing action time. He's doing a lot of work for Donald Trump. And
he is putting in, he's doing surgery. He's putting in the chip. He's having a surgeon put in the chip
for the
in
eyes.
a guy's brain that can restore vision.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty unbelievable.
I know. But when you get old, you want your eyesight and your ears to go, your hearing to go bad. You want to have selective hearing and you want to have selective eyesight. But I just don't even understand. Let's say you're Marco Rubio or you're Pete Hegseth and you're in charge of the entire military, the Pentagon. And Trump says, cabinet meeting, you got to show up. Oval Office with Benjamin Netanyahu, you got to show up. These guys have to show up everywhere and sit there while Trump goes on and on and on and repeats himself over and over and over again.
It's funny.
They're sitting on that sofa in the Oval Office like this, and they're like for hours on end.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, though? Just to go back to one thing with Bibi Netanyahu, it must be crazy if you're a world leader to see the difference of administrations. I mean, when Bibi came and Biden was the president, when he got out of the car, I literally think someone kicked him in his butt. Like kicked him, threw him down. Like this guy they treated him like a piece of crap. Now he gets out. They show you, I don't know if you saw the reel. Donald Trump goes through the hallway. He's there meeting him. Pete Hegseth goes down to greet the guy. They actually have the Marine band playing the Israeli national anthem as he's coming out of the car. I mean, the respect. He shook the hands of every single person in the cabinet. Like, that Bibi felt good, like he's won it and he's loved by this administration. And just like a year ago, he was treated like he had leprosy.
I know, and look,
I mean, that's crazy.
I like it, Bibi. I'm Jewish. I like Israel, but I did not like to see Israel's the size of New Jersey, and I didn't like to see Bibi getting off of his Israeli Air Force One. He has a $400 million jet that says United, the Israeli.
I love that.
Israeli United of Israel. I mean, why does the president of Israel, the size of New Jersey,
because he's surrounded
flying
by
around
enemies.
in a $400 million jet, his own personal jet like
because
that?
he's surrounded by enemies, and you think that jet doesn't have special? It has like
Don't
the
get-
Mark V of like when Speed
know,
Racer.
but I
He has
mean,
buttons on there that can do anything he wants.
So when Vlad comes here in his army uniform, not a suit, is he flying in a Ukrainian presidential jet, or does he fly?
I think Hunter Biden sends the jet for him because he has all this money. I think Hunter sends the jet for him because that's where the money went. Hunter has the money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's like, it's kind of crazy.
So, Govy, we have to talk about our sponsor, Just the Mail. Since we talked about it last week, and they're not Republican, they're not Democrat, they're Just the Mail. It's blowing up. The Boca Raton Post Office going out of business. They're building an apartment building there. In that strip center, the only UPS store in Boca Raton going out of business. They're flattening it. It's on the agenda, the Boca Raton City Council, to build an apartment building there.
Crazy.
Just the Mail now became the largest privately held mailbox, mail shipping, discount UPS FedEx in the state of Florida. Largest privately held.
And they sell lottery tickets.
And they sell lottery. I understand today was a big lottery day there.
Yeah.
They sold a lot because they got higher price tickets.
And a
this
high-end
week.
coffee place is coming in there.
And well, that's a secret, but we can break the news to the team here.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do coffee in Danish too with Just the Mail.
And more now. So it's
And
just
more.
the mail and more.
It's going to be La Colombe. How do you say it?
La Colombe.
La Colombe Coffee. You're going to famous national chain. We're going to sell it at Just the Mail.
You know, it's crazy that Trump is going to get rid of post offices anyway. But this one is actually closing in Boca Raton because they are tearing it down to build another building and to
Right,
redo the
apartments.
shops. So I mean, there's 4,000 boxes there. They have to go somewhere. They might as well go to Just the Mail.
They're not going to be able to. Just the Mail is running out of boxes. They better get there really fast because prices are going up and they're running out of boxes.
You know, there's a costume out there where it's like looks like a mailbox.
Yeah.
I know this person, Cole. He's going to be in that mailbox handing out
In
flyers.
August.
In August. We'll throw a bottle of water in there and he'll be giving out flyers and everything.
That's
But,
so
you
funny.
know, the other thing for Just the Mail that's going to give a little bit more time, it looks like Congress and the Senate today, it looks like daylight savings time is here to stay, that you will not be turning back the clocks.
Well, I don't understand. How does that save money? I'm confused on the whole issue.
It saves, well, first of all,
Why do
it was
they-
for the farmers and the other thing. But now you have an extra hour of daylight, and they think that way you save electricity by maybe being outside more. The people turn it up and down when they're in their house.
Well, I like it. Right now, it doesn't really get light until maybe 7:30 or whatever, and it stays light till 8 at night. I like it reverse. I like it light in the morning and darker at night.
That's because you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I do.
But to the average American, 7 o'clock, where it's, by the way, it's daybreak at like 7:15 or so. 7:15 is good enough. I mean, it's bad for high school kids that are waiting for a bus.
Yeah.
But I got to just tell you something. I look at the high school kids here. I see the carpool lines. These mothers nurture their kids so much, they don't even take buses anymore. Everybody's in a carpool line picking up their kid. When we were in school, you took a bus or a friend drove you or something, someone had a car and you got in it. Today, I've never seen the carpool line of parents picking up their kid. Just one kid. Not even like a carpool, just one kid.
Yeah, when we were in school, we walked 4 miles in freezing cold weather in paper shoes.
You know, when I was in school, when we saw the bus come, I remember telling my mom that the bus never came. And that way, she wasn't driving because it was a little snow out there, but we saw it come. We just said it never came, and then we got to miss school.
So you didn't walk to school? You took your mom drove you?
We could walk to school if we wanted to,
Right.
but they'd also had a bus. So we walked to school when we wanted to, but if we knew there was a chance the bus wasn't coming, we made like we were taking the bus.
We had to walk to school. I was a walker my whole life to school, and one day when I was in elementary school, I spoke to a stranger. And that was like, it was all everywhere. I mean, it was like the worst thing you could ever do, walking to school and talking to a stranger.
You know, when my parents...
Do you remember that rule?
I do. You weren't allowed to. My parents went away on a vacation, and my brother's a year older than me, so he was like my legal guardian. And the school would call your house if you weren't at roll call, and that was like third period. So the third period was homeroom, and they would have... I gave them my telephone number, was the payphone in the middle of the lobby. So when they would call, I would have a friend that would answer the phone, this girl that would answer it, "Hello, Kaufberg's residence." And they would say, "Your son's not here." They were actually just calling the lobby out front when I would when I would cut school.
How old were you at that point?
I cut school, I guess I was 15, 16 years old.
And look how successful you turned out.
Yeah.
That's because
my parents went away. They trusted me and my brother to be home alone.
So you have a degree from Columbia, 5th in Columbia, right?
How about these schools with all this stuff going on right now with these Ivy League schools getting hit with billions from they're going to cave.
They have to cave. I mean, now he's starting to take money away from little schools. I mean, it's not even Columbia anymore. What was that college this week he took the money away from? Iola College? I never even heard of the name of the college. He took a bunch of money from them. I mean, he's just a mob boss. I mean, he is just taking down everybody. He's taking down every country in the world. He's solving the Ukraine war, the Middle East conflict. He's going to blow up Iran. This guy, I'm exhausted. The stock market's crashing.
He had time for Bill Maher. He had dinner with Bill Maher. It goes to show you he reaches across. I mean, that must have been a great meal. Bill Maher, Kid Rock. I mean, that's...
But what do you think about this, the last story, before we run out of time? Blue Horizon, Jeff Bezos, is sending his girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez, up on
with her friends, Gayle King?
Yeah, a 3-female crew on his Blue Horizon thing, April 26th. Now, my question to you is... Those balloons that Lauren Sanchez has on her chest, will they explode when she gets through the atmosphere and gets up there? Will they pop?
You know what? I bet
it's like a helium balloon.
I bet you they discuss that in space. They have
they got to blow up, right?
She's
do they get bigger? Do they get harder?
But she's going up before they're married.
Right.
Now, if it was after they're married, I could understand it because just in case there was a malfunction after you're married, there's a malfunction, and then there's no more Gayle King, no more Laura Sanchez.
Now, does she have a custom-made, astronaut
Absolutely.
suit? Like, normally every outfit she has
Stella
is like,
McCartney.
ripped that, you see everything. Now, this astronaut suit, is it made by Chanel Channel, where the things are exploding out of the top of the astronaut suit?
Christy Nome should be up there with her, the two of them together. I mean, but they are. She's the Christy Nome of Jeff Bezos' wife. I mean, jeez, unbelievable.
And Gayle King's going. Who's the third girl that's going? It's a 3-girl crew, not Oprah Winfrey.
No, but Gayle. You got Gayle King.
Yeah,
you can't get rid of both of them. If something bad goes wrong.
Right.
But I'm not quite sure. But
who cares? It'll be comical. I want to see if those boobs explode, though. I mean, that's going to be crazy.
Is his the one that lands in dirt, or does it land in water?
I think it lands in water. Elon Musk lands gets caught or lands in dirt.
There's a difference. Elon Musk lands, and there's going to be dolphins swimming around you.
Right.
You know what's going to be? Sharks will be swimming around this one.
Oh my God. All right, folks. Thanks for watching this week. We had a lot of fun today. I'm not in a bad mood anymore. Thank you for getting me out of the bad mood. Can you give me a ride home? I have a bad tire.
Yes, we could do that.
All right,
See you guys
folks.
next week.
Have a great week.
See ya.
'Cause I'm only